what do you guys want to do? How do you want to go about it? There is, I think, I think I'll mention this. I think there is a certain time pressure that at some point that you guys would recognize, whoever sent the cultist to go kind of provide the food and water for the day they're going to notice that she hasn't come back at some point. But you guys don't really have a sense of, how long that usually takes, like whether it's like it's just like a drop off and then they run back, or if usually it's used for them to talk to them, or if she has other stuff to do, on this before she goes back. So you don't really have a sense of like how long that might be, but I think you would have a sense that probably there's a certain amount of ticking, a clock ticking here. But then I'll leave it at that. So, but that's probably a little bit hanging over your head.
Okay. Do we?
And I think, sorry, the last thing, sorry, Sean. And then the last thing is, I think that I had explained that room. I think I explained the room to you guys okay. Make sure that I didn't miss anything. No, I don't think I missed anything about the room. The room doesn't. The only other thing in the room are the two dead bodies. One dressed in cultist robes, and the other a Higmoni dressed as in the same types of clothing that the Higmoni you guys attacked or who attacked you were dressed in. Okay. So that's about it. Sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
Oh, no problem. Hrosk would think to Cyir that he wants to dismember the corpses so they can't be used to be brought back. I have no idea if that makes a difference, or they could just sew them back. But Hrosk is of that mindset. But really, in Hrosk's mind, it's a question of, do we take them with us, or do we send these three back outside? Certainly, if we could get them past the staircase to the outside, we could tell them where the others are, and they could flag them down and help Rymac and things like that. But on the other hand, having Sir Onward and his magic and Elise and her abilities wouldn't hurt us, especially if it doesn't really put Rymac into danger.
And to be fair, Elise is the only one who seems uninjured. Sir Onward has been injured and is still himself not at he's not at 100%. Whereas Rymac is definitely more. Has been brought back out of this coma and is up, but is definitely not very hard. Very hardy right now, healthy. Hardy.
Well, I mean, it strikes me. Now, I'm not going to say this out loud, but I can say it telepathically. We have, I think, at least two bargaining chips. We have the cultist now, and we also know about the body that the Necromancer is so interested in. I don't think it's worth trying to replay the same ambush again. Ambush worked really well the first time. but I don't think you go dipping back into the same well. Maybe another ambush in a different set of circumstances, perhaps, but I don't see us staying here for long. I think we should make a decision and uh, head out.
Is the zombie dressed in any kind of robes or anything, or just?
Yeah, so this is one of the human zombies that you had. Human zombies that you had, I think, seen before, and in fact, you can see that, looking at the kind of the corpse or the zombie corpse, you can see that it took, its damage from the Higmoni attack had not healed at all. So, it was already sort of in a little bit beaten up shape to begin with here. And I'm trying to.
But it's not dressed in any kind of robes or anything, is it?
It has just the standard cultist robes that it was wearing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and then you also took the other and so you also took the other cultist robes from the other corpse.
Right.
But the robes on the zombie are definitely more like in much worse shape, having been, one, like kind of on the zombie for a while, and then two, have gone through now, one battle and now this ambush. So those are definitely in worse shape.
And the Higmoni that was in the room with Sir Onward and company, the dead Higmoni, did that Higmoni have armor on?
Oh yeah, yes, that Higmoni in that room does have armor. It has the base, those Higmoni have the lowest level of the armor, which I think is the padded. They were wearing the padded armor. So it's not great armor, but that armor is in has had some damage, but is not completely destroyed.
And I mean, what is the reaction of Elise and Sir Onward? I mean, are they?
Yeah.
Are they nervous? Are they?
Good question. So I think Elise has been. So I think Elise and then Rymac, once he's awake, they are kind of huddling with Urek, and Sir Onward is kind of standing apart from them, and he is going to, I think I guess we can do him now, because it doesn't make sense. Sir Onward is, I think you're right, Robbie. Sir Onward is not the type of guy who's actually going to be sitting around very, very long, like kind of not taking charge or trying to get his thing across. So he is going to say, but the other folks, basically, like, the other folks are, we'll say, kind of, we can kind of paint the picture with a little more detail here. So the other folks, they're kind of seeing to Rymac, they're helping him up, they're kind of getting him ready to move, because they're assuming that something's going to happen, and you can't wait around here forever. I think, Urek might even be thinking, like, now that he's got his brother, and there's that gold back in there, like, maybe they can even just get out of there. But Sir Onward is going to kind of turn to you guys and say, I thank you for your courage. I had been praying for deliverance, and it seems Baron Thenu has sent you to me. Therefore, our next step is clear. With you by my side, we can get that boy out of the grasp of the Necromancer. She will not expect us. She will not expect me to be freed, and we can easily overpower her and her remaining her remaining necromantic creations. And he'll kind of stand, and he's a little shaky on his feet. He's like standing, he's a little shaky on his feet, and he's gonna put his like hand on Hrosk's head to steady himself. Yeah.
Tall people. Ross will just sort of, obviously I'm not gonna make him fall over, but I'll be like, put it on my shoulder or whatever. It's like,
It's pretty disrespectful.
It is. Yeah, it is pretty disrespectful.
Sorry.
And I think Cyir will reply that, I'm impressed by your unflappable optimism. With your certainty that we can best the Necromancer, I do wonder, how she, at least on the first round, got you in her clutches. What happened that landed you in the circumstances that you found yourself, where you needed us to rescue you?
He looks a little taken aback by that. I'm gonna now I'll roll his reaction roll to that, because I think that's a little bit charged. But you do have the great bonus there. Okay, so he says it is true. I was not. It is true. You are right to chastise me for failing to be humble. I did not count on there being as many. I did not count on there being as many undead as there were. My magic was able to turn away some of them, but there were more lurking, and they overpowered me. That giant, they had a giant with them that was, too strong even for me. And if I been alone, I would have certainly fought to the death, and I would have given away my life for this cause. But I could not risk that with these also in my charge. So he points to Elisa and Elise and Rymac, and so had to yield in order that the Necromancer would spare their lives. But now that you are here, I can see my prayers have been answered. I have been I've been penitent, and so I see my prayers have been answered, and you are right. I will defer to your judgment, as I will not let my pride run away with me again. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, and it does seem.
He'll defer.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like that giant skeleton is. I mean, if we had a way of eliminating or neutralizing that skeleton, I think that would be that would put another ace in our hand. We've seen the skeleton that does, like, when we look at these doors that we've been passing through, can this giant skeleton easily get through all of these doors, or is it so large that some of them seem more confined, like they would confine it more than others?
That's a really good question. The gateway into the temple and those stairs are kind of giant sized, and the doors into that the kind of ground floor doors to that room with the kind of stairs going up the outside, those are big doors, but the rest of the doors are more human sized, and he would be able to fit through. He's obviously he's going from room to room, but it would be they would present kind of choke points where he'd have to kind of slow down and maneuver a little bit more to get himself through. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so basically most of the doors are human size, except for that the main doors, the stairway, and then the doors into that one room on the lowest level. I think I should just give you guys this map at this point. Let me do that, so I don't have to because you guys have seen. I mean,
yeah, I've been like sketching down little maps. We've been going through, so not to
yeah. I think at this point,
and yeah.
Sure. No, I think just and this is an anathema. I can't. No, I don't have a good player facing map, unfortunately. But anyways, I'm happy to go through if you have any kind of questions, because you guys have been through it. I don't feel like I have to. You guys should be able to kind of remember it. There's you had that because you had the opportunity to get back. But yeah, just to get back to the doors, no, the doors are all human sized. What is the other thing? And then that room with this, just along the lines of the thinking about the giant, the room with the stairwells that kind of go along the outsides. That stairway, those stairways are human scaled stairways. So those are not the big giant stairways of the entrance. Okay. And so yeah, so Sir Onward kind of backed off from his initial kind of his initial kind of gung ho attitude, but he's still itching to do it. He hasn't he's going to put he's still pushing for that. So he says so what I will defer to you, but my honor demands that I bring the boy back.
Kind of getting surface thoughts off of him.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, his surface thoughts are he is I mean, yeah, he's thinking that he's got a good chance of besting this necromancer this time. He's he's really impressed with you guys. So, and he's not, I wouldn't say he's embarrassed, but he's maybe a little embarrassed for coming on strong and now is backing off, but he does still feel you guys are gonna help him on his quest here.
Yeah,
he's very trusting of you guys that you're going to help him.
I think Cyir will kind of whisper to Hrosk. Do you pick up anything from the cultist that we have? I mean, what's on her
Oh
mind?
yeah, that's a good point. Right. I'll also, get close to her if I can, and gag her too. By the way, I'll make sure she's gagged.
Yeah, she can be kind of bound up and taken out of the possibility of alerting anyone. That's no problem. So she's thinking of like, oh, they should be here soon. Like someone should come get me soon. He's kind of thinking of like, oh, when, just kind of going through her head, like she's running that like, okay, so, Sadia is busy with, Sadia is probably still busy talking with Gyla, so it'll probably be a while before she notices I'm gone. Balak is probably paying. Balak is the male called the guy cultist. Balak is down working on his project, so he's not going to notice I'm gone for a while. But then she's kind of calculating. But at some point, they're gonna get it, and we're supposed to. We usually all meet for our meal in about 30 minutes, and so she's kind of calculating from there. So like in 30 minutes they'll start to notice I'm gone, and then they'll kind of figure it out. So she's sort of doing that calculation in her head. I think that's like taking up most of her surface thoughts, just kind of her like kind of and then kind of running scenarios of like, oh, but if Sadia does something else, she'll notice that I should really be back where I was, and so maybe it'll be sooner.
Ross will relay that mentally to Cyir, and so to go ahead, and we should leave soon. Ross will say that out loud. We should go soon, and we can. But he will. Actually, what Ross will say is, "Oh, I think we should. Let's just get out of the room and leave her here with the dead, the chopped up dead, the dismembered dead."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then that sounds fine to me. But then where do we go from there? Do we? We could get the, we could take the injured ones out, or just send them out. And I think we should, if the others are waiting are going to be eating a meal, that might give us an opportunity.
Right. I was thinking that. Is there any mechanism for just like giving her a bap upside the head to knock her out, or?
I don't know that. I don't know that there. I don't recall that being. I've now been reading so many different things, but I'm because I don't think there's like a.
Or maybe we just send her tied up out with the others if we're gonna send some out, and if she's pretty tied up, we could just send her out, and then our companions waiting outside could take her into custody.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Rosk is going to sort of mentally project to you that we can take the other cultist, who is kind of a wimp anyway, by himself. We grab him, but then he's going to take. That I'm going to take. Hrosk is going to take Yurik and Sir Onward out of the room to whisper that to them while we get her ready to move, so that she, just for whatever reason, we don't need to. She doesn't need to know that I can read her mind. So. But yeah, obviously, I think at this point, Hrosk is in favor of just let's finish this up. Let's do this, because we have the advantage now. If we trying to get her again a third time, she'll definitely be ready for us.
Yeah.
And that could mean a lot more undead, or an alliance with the Harpies. We're very tall up there. I don't like that.
Oh, here we go. Sorry.
Yeah, Hrosk was all for the idea of, oh yeah, the Harpies in the tower, we should do that. And then we got close and he could see the tower and he's like, I don't know about that. The roller coaster sounds like a good idea. Then you get to it, you're like, no, I don't know about that. It looks kind of fast and not that secure.
Okay, so how do you guys want to do, so you want to send her out, and meanwhile, like, kind of, I think that now we'll just kind of, Yurik will throw his 2 cents in, which is, Yurik is going to then, I guess Yurik will make his plea, or his pitch, which is, and this, you've kind of have heard them talking, this is not a surprise because you've kind of overheard what they've been talking about. And Yurik is saying, if Guilus should be on his own, and we do not need to do, whatever Sanye, so the mistress, is whatever her concerns are with this necromancer. She has not been completely, she has not kind of disclosed everything to those of us in the village, and I do not believe we owe her more than this. We've gotten back my brother, we've gotten back Elise. If her son wants to stay here, he should, and I think we should, take what we found from the other room and leave here before it's too late, and we can let Sanye deal with her own problems.
But what if we have just scratched the surface of what is to be found in this temple? I mean, that was just seemed like some type of lowly storeroom that we were in. I can point to and say, and look, there are the jeweled eyes of these statue, these statues. Who knows what else is, lurking in this temple.
Yeah, so that's appealing to Yurik. So he says, he's kind of weighing that in his head, and he's saying, well, I still want to make sure that my brother gets out of here. I don't think he could. He would do nothing but hold us up anyway in the state he's in. And it seems like this would be the safest option to the surest option, the surest path to get him to safety is to take him out now. So he'll say, like, I can send I can send him and Elise back with Mule, and they can join up with Brock and DeMarc.
Well, how about this as an option? We send out Mule and Elise and Rymark and oh, that's right. We're trying not to tell them about the treasure. Yeah, that's fine because we'd still have Sir Onward with us to replace Mule.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have Avi and Yurik too.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have the two guys. You'd have Sir Onward, and then you'd also have those guys waiting outside. I mean, then you'd have, Brock, DeMarc, and Mule kind of available at the entrance at least.
Right. Yeah.
So they wouldn't be completely out of it, but if you got if that turned into the situation, and it's still daytime outside, probably based on your reckoning.
Yeah, and that sounds reasonable. And we send the cultist out there and just say keep her tied up and don't let her escape.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so that sounds good. They'll do that piece. Mule will then take Mule and Elise will manhandle the cultist between them, and Rymac will follow along. Yurik clasps Rymark's arm and says, I'll join you soon, brother. And things will be different when we get back to the village. Then kind of circles up with you guys and Sir Onward and says, and then is now waiting to Rymac is now, I think, falling in line, with behind Cyir as is Sir Onward. They're now looking to you to kind of make the next step, which is the burden of your ridiculously successful reaction rolls that you get all the time. Now they kind of looking to you for.
Well, I think what we might want to do, if we're acting quickly enough, we might be able to get that other, the other cultist, alone, right? Because the one cultist was saying, I'd written down the name of that other one.
Bollock.
Bollock, yes.
Yeah, Bollock is the guy, and I don't know if I ever gave the name of the woman cultist. Okay, but I'm not sure if Hrosk would pick it up. I don't know. Do people think in their? I always wonder, like with telepathy, like would you pick up surface thoughts of someone's own name? Would you? Or do we actually go around thinking of our names?
Right. Yeah. Sean wants to give you the sandwich. Sean wants a new video game.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
Like, now that I mentioned it, I'm like, oh, John is thinking about, but
right.
Before I did. So I'll say we don't have her name just yet, but I don't know that it could matter. So I think it wasn't mentioned. I don't think you would have been able to pick it up just yet.
Yeah, but I think the if I'm understanding my one map that I had kind of done when we were first through, that the way to go now would be not through the secret door, but through the side door, which is, I think, where the cultists came from, right? Right? There was another door going
correct.
in.
Yep. Yeah, and that door, you would remember, it opens up into the landing in that room with the stairs going around the kind of outside of it, and then Bollock you first encountered in the room that's off the next up the next highest landing up. Mm-hmm. He was in a room off of there, digging in a pit, or supervising a skeleton who was digging a pit, digging up a pit.
So should we go up there and see if he's still working in that room?
Is that where she was thinking he was at? Because she mentioned that, or in her mind, she's like, his project, and I assume that's okay.
That's I think you got a flash of, that room. Yeah, that's certainly what I meant to suggest.
Yeah, I'll just say he's probably in that same room working on his dirt, digging his dirt, or Skeleton's digging his dirt while he watches.
Yeah, so yeah, I think we should maybe make our way to that room, and if he's there just by himself with maybe a skeleton, try to get the jump on him. If we can be, one idea might be we have what, a couple of robes, a couple of cultist robes.
Yeah.
You have one. Well, yes, you have. You could have taken hers as well. Like you could have, she's got kind of clothes on underneath, so you could have stripped her of the robe if you had wanted to take that. We can.
Yeah, I mean that seems reasonable. That for the purposes of some type of disguise, we would find that valuable.
Yeah, so you've got two human-sized robes that are sort of could pass muster. One's in perfectly good shape and the other one is slightly damaged. And then there is the option of taking the zombie's robe, which is not in great shape, but it's you guys are in a dungeon. Most of the light is by lantern, so depending on how long you need to kind of fool someone, if especially if you're just looking to get the drop. On the other hand, there's only one cultist missing, so you might not be
right, but a cultist and a zombie showing up.
Good point. Yeah, because you're right. So so it would be like they were both in robes. Yep. Keep me honest, Sean. Thank you. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And then with 3 robes, it gives you some flexibility of like who. That's cool. So yeah, you've got the 3 robes. You've got of the people who can fit the robes. There's Cyir could fit them. Sir Onward, Avi or Uric could all fit the robes, but not Hrosk would be too small.
Well, to be fair, the robes are too big.
I'm sorry.
The robes are unnaturally sized.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, so I'm inclined to maybe put on a robe. Just it wouldn't hurt to have it on. If I'm spotted, at least temporarily, have somebody thinking I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, should I go on ahead and try to kind of silently move to that doorway to see if he's in there, and if so, kind of I can signal you up, and we try to launch on them.
Good idea.
No, that sounds good. And let me see. So the distance, so the distance between the 2 landings is far enough that the telepathy is not going to work. Just to so it is, and you guys having gone through that before, you guys would know that. Just so you wouldn't be in this. If it was something you hadn't done before, you might find yourself in a position and be surprised by that. But you have a good, Cyir, you have a pretty good sense now of how close you guys have to be to have that connection, and
Right.
you estimate based on your prior travel that was not going to be an option for communicating. But the otherwise, figuring that piece out, but that makes sense, I think, in terms of move silently.
Before we get too far on as well, I'll ask Sir Onward. Hrosk will ask him how many zombies did she have, or how many undead did she have?
Oh, that is a good question. So he says there was this one and a pair. There was a zombie of some other beast and a skeleton. There's the giant, and then another smaller skeleton as well. So basically, by his count, there would be 5 undeads left. The giant skeleton, 2 more or less normal sized skeletons, and then 2 more or less normal sized zombies.
And Ross won't say this out loud, but he will mentally, before Cyir gets out of range, he's like, in any fight, I think we should expect Guilelist at first to be on their side.
I agree. Yep.
Interesting rules here. Okay. So, yes. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, can we see from one landing to the other?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so he could just come and wave to us.
Yes. Yeah. So the and that's a good point. The landings have sort of like like a human waist high kind of barrier along the outside, so overlooking the the center of that room. And the first landing is 20 feet up. The second landing is 40 feet up. The third 60 feet up, and then the top landing way at the top is 80 feet, about 80 feet off the ground. But yeah, you can see from the, you can see from door. Yeah, I think you can see from the doorway up into the landing, kind of the next landing up. If you're standing in front of the doorway, you'd be able to look back down and see into the doorway you guys would come out of. So that's a possibility for sure.
So should I head on up and see if I can spy what is going on?
I think that sounds good. Move silently.
I think I roll this?
You do roll, yes. Oh, interesting. Your alert creatures in a 30-foot area. Okay, interesting. So that means I have to be kind of careful about where I got to determine where these characters might be. Okay. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, I got it.
Well,
So if you, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I did roll. I have to roll. I have only 25% chance of this, so I rolled a 51.
Yeah.
So not an awful roll, but it needs to be better than that to be fully silent.
No, these are some rough skills to hit at the start. I do, yeah. It is sort of rough. So, you know, I think this is similar to what happened last time, which is that, you kind of similar to what happened last time, although was I paying attention? I might not have been. Well, I don't know if I did this exactly right the last time, but I'm going to try to do it right this time. So you do fail, although there is not at the moment a creature in this room within 30 feet that can hear you. Mm-hmm. So you're sort of all set for that first stage of the movement up to the up to that the door in front of the second landing. Mm-hmm. Or actually, how many? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I think then kind of opening that door and then creeping in would be another move silently roll, because that is moving into a second area of risk.
Okay. So should I roll that?
And is that what you want to do? You want to kind of creep in through the door and kind of see. And if you remember, because that room does have like a hallway leading out of the door is like a 10-foot long hallway that then opens into the room with the pit. So it's, you remember, it's something you could kind of like creep into and then look. Okay. Creep into the end of the hallway and kind of looking to see what's there. So that would make sense.
I got a 24 on this one.
There you go. So you get to mark your success for a change here. Only like 100 more of those before yes. your skill improves. But no, this one's likely to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't want to jinx. I don't want to jinx you. But so you do sneak. So you are able to sneak silently at this point. Where let's see, you would have been within 30 feet of someone, so that's more meaningful here, I guess. So you can sneak to the end of that 10-foot long corridor and kind of peek around the corner. And I guess I can show you what this looks like with the. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong tool. Okay, I'll put this in the chat just to. Just so you can kind of get the sense what I mean when I'm saying you're kind of can peek around the edge of that corner. Mm-hmm. Into that room, and that area in the middle, that 20 by 20 square in the middle, is that pit that skeleton have been digging in. And so the difference now, so you kind of sneak to the edge of it, and the difference now between what you saw the last time and now is that the pit has been substantially excavated, and the zombie under the skeleton under Balak's direction has been doing it in such a way so that it's sort of like kind of level down to make essentially kind of like a kind of a stairwell that's now leading down, that seems to be leading down into the pit. So you can't see from your vantage point how far down they've necessarily gotten, but you can, I think, see enough of it to see that they've gotten kind of like a, different level. Does that make sense? They're kind of like, and it's not like perfect because it's, it's because it's like dirt. But that seems to be the method behind Balak's plan here. And then Balak is at the top left corner, sitting with his feet out, sitting at the edge of the pit with his feet kind of dangling over now this area that has sort of been dug out. And you don't see, I guess you probably don't see the skeleton because he's, but you can hear digging sounds from kind of inside the pit, but you don't see the skeleton at this point. He's down there digging somewhere.
Well,
and Balak is kind of like watching and sitting there.
If Balak was pushed over, roughly how far would he fall?
I think you. Let me see if you could see. From. Okay, let me. Probably from where he is. Probably like at 10 feet. You might estimate. You probably can't see that from there, but
it looks like it would look like something of it. There's a little drop at least that I mean.
A little bit of a drop, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm inclined to. One thing that's not clear, like if I succeed in a move silently roll, is my character aware that I'm doing really well with my silent move?
Yeah, I think it's one of those interesting things where, if they wanted you to be in the dark about it, they would have had me roll.
Yes.
So I think I think you
have a sense that I'm in the zone or something with my movement.
I think that's the way we play it, because that seems to be what the metaphysics of this particular skill, how it's working.
Yeah, so I think Cyir will the question is, do I mean, I could just attack him and then I'll do damage that way and hopefully have him take damage dropping down. I think that's what Cyir is inclined to do. I think he's going to sneak up, do his best to sneak up behind him and get him totally unaware from behind, and have his scimitars ready, but then also hope that he also just drops down into however far he can drop.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. So you can. Let me see. What's the if there's any questions here?
I mean, on the move silently, it says that characters that remain silent can achieve surprise on unsuspecting creatures, gaining a free attack.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's
I don't know
Yeah, I think that's.
in terms of combat if there's any,
I don't think so. I think because I think the kind of backstabbing skill is the assassination skill.
Right.
So I think that is. I think like that is how the. If you want to, yeah, I think that is how that's how it would exist if or that's what we would be going for if this was like in a if you were like a super stealthy type backstabbing character.
Right. So do we go then just with attack value and defense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Attack and defense.
I have the two, right? I have the two-handed melee, right? So I use the two scimitars.
Yes. Yeah.
And my attack value modifier is +3.
Okay, so you're hitting just his armor defense of 1, so that's an 8 or above to hit. You get two hits.
My first one is a 14.
Okay.
And my second one is a 14.
Okay, nice. So 2 hits. And the scimitar is
1d6 + 1 is what?
Oh, nice.
So my first one, I rolled a 3 + 1, it would be a 4. And my second one, I rolled a 4 + 1, which would be a 5.
Okay, so the 4. Let's say you got a 4 and a 5.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So you so this is a pretty substantial kind of like kind of slashing into his back. You rip through some padded armor, but it also kind of you feel the blades like taking a big chunk out of his flesh as well. I think the nature of how he was sitting and the fact that you're coming up behind him means that I think that it's sort of automatic that he'd fall over. Right? That's fair enough. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to make things too easy for you, but I think that was your goal. That was part of the attack.
Yeah,
right?
and I think when I'm attacking, I would be trying to do it in such a way to maximize the odds that he would fall over. Yeah.
Okay, so he then so you hit him and then he falls and he kind of tumbles in such a way that he ends up like landing, I think, on his head or his neck, and he's down about 10 feet into this pit, not moving at this point. And I think the skeleton though is, and now from this vantage point you can see the skeleton. The skeleton is now almost is about 15 feet down and is working on the kind of the next is kind of working on getting down even farther. So there's the skeleton is like in the bottom left-hand corner of where the pit is and is down about 15 feet, and he's working on digging out the bottom right-hand corner at the moment. And I wonder if, let me check what it says on skeleton just to see what he would do. Okay. So so the skeleton will then so the skeleton is going to notice you. Mm-hmm. And without Bollock there to command him. He is going to revert to his or its desire to attack all life. So it drops its shovel and is going to turn around and start kind of scrambling up towards you. Next move on Cyir's part.
I think what Cyir will do is and what I mean, does it have weaponry on it at all, or is it just?
No, it dropped its shovel. It is now perfectly kind of perfectly bare. It is not using its it's not using its weapon. It does not have a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's not, and this one is not wearing like armor or anything. It's a naked skeleton.
So I think what Cyir will do is, I'm thinking about maybe just, my problem is I don't have many spell points to spend, but
I know.
Yeah, I think I will cast that spike spell though.
Okay. Spike is cool. And beast magic.
Which is it's not particularly damaging, but it's an automatic hit.
Okay. Right.
It says if
Okay,
the
sounds
creature
good.
is not wearing armor, all the damage is deducted from its hit points. If the armor is present, it does 1 hit point of damage with the remaining deducted from the armor points.
Yeah, that sounds good. And let's see. Okay, sounds good. What is your damage roll?
I rolled a 4.
Is this one of these? Oh, you rolled a 4 damage? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
This one I don't think there's, it just says it's instantaneous and the damage is automatic. It's an automatic hit. Kind of
Yeah,
like, in some D&D, the magic missile, right? That always,
that makes sense. So you hit it. And what? It's the special effect is Antigor spike. So yeah. So this spike is conjured out of nothing. Flies through the air and kind of smashes into I think probably like the skeleton's like left upper damage, like kind of really like blasting that, and there's kind of bone fragments kind of chip off and fly everywhere, and has taken some structural damage there for sure, but it is still kind of moving, still coming at you, and it's coming now. So that was your move. It's going to try to move closer to you, and to do that, let me see. I've got to. The movement in this is a little off. Got to calculate. Got to turn the yards per minute into like square, like 10-foot squares per minute. Well, what are you gonna do? It's trying to get out. What are you gonna do? It's easier if I have like the.
I think after that, I'm thinking I'm going to back off and get to the doorway to kind of signal my companions up.
Okay, that sounds good. So the skeleton moves as fast as Cyir does. You have the same speed. So the issues are one, it's sort of scrambling up out of this this pit it's been digging out, and it's as I say, there's kind of level to level, but it's he needs to kind of scramble up to the next level and then kind of scramble up one more time to get out of the pit. So he's got two sort of 5-foot high kind of like ledges to get up. And that's going to give Cyir definitely enough time to get to the door and signal. But I think by the time you signal, the skeleton is going to be able to get to the end of that quarter and will be starting to probably advance on you.
Okay.
And then the other folks, in terms of let's see, what's Hrosk's speed? Hrosk isn't that much slower, but there'll probably have to be kind of one kind of combat exchange between you and the skeleton, between Cyir and the skeleton, before Hrosk, Yurik, and Avi and Sir Onward can make it up there. So let's and in terms of that piece, Hrosk, how are you making your way up there, or do you have
Hrosk will actually well, I guess we could probably make our way up there. Do we see anything or hear anything?
Let's see. Do you see anything or hear anything? That's a good question. No, you don't. No.
The only other thing I would have asked, but I'm just speaking out loud, sort of thinking out loud for this one is, Hrosk was keeping his scent as a lookout in case any of the others come. So I guess it's possible he might smell blood in the air, but that's, I don't know about, there's probably already a lot of blood in this place anyway, kind of thing. So I don't know that that would trigger his scent, if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, that makes sense. So I think kind of what you might hear or might note are that let me just check this. Let's see. Okay, so I think here's some one of so just I'm sorry to space out for a second. So Hrosk's the question of Hrosk's sense of smell. I think that it would. I think it might be there might be too many kind of smells in this area to kind of get a sense of using it as a lookout, because you can definitely, there's definitely the smell of undead have been through here pretty recently, but you kind of knew that already. So it's not kind of there's nothing kind of surprising about the smells in that main kind of stairwell room. Having said that, the listening and looking piece, just from the stairwell. So if we're talking about kind of before you guys make any of your moves, you wouldn't be seeing or hearing anything. It's still kind of quiet and nothing else going on. So we're now kind of at the point where Cyir is, he's back at that landing. He's made visual contact and given you guys the signal. I think that Sir Onward is going to be kind of charging kind of straight up and ahead to get next to Cyir. Hrosk, what do you want to do?
Well, Hrosk can't run, so he is going to. He'll just say to the other, "I'll cover you." He'll take his bow and he'll keep an eye out or snout out for anybody else, but he'll also take a shot if he gets one. But yeah, Hrosk can't run or charge or anything like that.
Okay, so that's a good point. So here's kind of where the whole move silently thing is interesting, and I maybe, I think this makes sense, and you guys can cry foul or something. I think this makes sense though, but because they're in this kind of stairwell room, there was kind of a zombie down on the bottom floor who was too far away to hear the failed move silently roll of Cyir before, but I think is not too far away to hear people kind of running up the stairs. So he is going to start moving, and so Hrosk, you would notice, so Sir Onward is first. Yurik and Avi are coming up behind Sir Onward to get to Cyir, and then Hrosk is coming up the rear, and then you do hear kind of movement and shuffling from below, as and you can then once you hear the movement, you can kind of she's kind of too far away to see, but you hear and maybe sense something on the move scent wise too. But that's you hear something moving pretty slowly, shuffling pretty slowly. Okay, so we're now at Cyir, and is going to have that exchange with the skeleton before Sir Onward and Avi and Yurik are by your side, are able to kind of come to you for support. So let's roll initiative for that, I think.
And that's a D6, right?
Yes. Nice. Yes. Is that a sad look?
No, I rolled a 4 on the D6.
Okay. So you're kind of holding your own, but that I think we can say the skeleton, once he gets up there, moves probably a little faster than you thought. Like, especially maybe you'd kind of gotten used to seeing the zombies that are moving much more slowly, but the skeleton crosses that space in front of you a little faster than you thought. So he's going to be able to get off a swing with his. And what's your armor rating? Should have it up here.
Yeah, I got it. It is. Where did I put these?
I got it. It's 2.
Two.
It's
yeah.
2.
Yeah.
See it. Okay, so it is straightforward here. Okay, and so he swings and does connect with his fist barely, and so he does 1 hit point and 4 points of armor to you. So I guess it's a little bit. I mean, it's one of these things where he rolled. He barely hit in terms of the 2-hit roll, but it conked you in terms of the damage roll.
Mm-hmm. So I lose 1 off of my hit point and 4 off of the armor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. But your armor is still at armor rating 2 until it drops below. Once it gets down to 10, it goes to rating 1. Okay, but now you will get your 2-handed
scimitar
attack. Yeah. And that to hit is
an 8.
Oh, to hit. Sorry, no, to hit him is going to be an 11.
Okay. So my first was a 7, and then my second one was a 17. So one of
perfect.
those.
Okay.
And
yeah,
I rolled a 4 plus 1 would be a 5.
Okay. So your first hit, actually, yeah. So and it is a skeleton. So your first hit, I think kind of glances off one of his arm bone completely. The second one takes a chip out of the bones, but the edge kind of there's not kind of much of him for the edge to kind of get into. Like it's sort of like rattling around there. So you do connect, but it's not having that same effect you're used to when fighting foes made of flesh. Okay. So the next round will say that Sir Onward is at your side, and I think that is I think the kind of the spacing there. I think the spacing there is such that only the 2 of you only the 2 of you are going to be able to make that attack. And does he want to? I think he's gonna save his spell and just kind of try to attack. But so let's and then Ross, did you want to do anything beside? What did you want to do, Ross? By the way.
I probably don't have a good shot, and that's fine.
You definitely don't have a good shot against the skeleton because sort of now everyone's in the way, and you can't see yet the zombie that's kind of coming up the stairs after you, who is still pretty far away. He moves much more slowly than anyone else.
Well, I will not yell, but I will say in a voice to be heard, it's coming up. That zombie's coming up the stairs. Because I think that, at least in Ross's mind, this is the thing that one of the things we've run into before.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, that thing's coming up the stairs. So, let's be quick. And I will just watch our backs and watch the other stairs to make sure that we don't get attacked from behind.
That's fair enough. And I think that call will make Avi kind of hang back with you, as part of the rear guard, and then Yurik is going to come up and be kind of trying to get in on this skeleton attack. Although I think there's not enough space right now, so it'll be this next round. I think will be Cyir and Cyir onward, and then the skeleton going at it. You're kind of hanging back for the moment, and then Hrosk and Avi, just kind of waiting until the zombie can kind of come into range. Avi will take this time, I think, too, to actually get his bow, his short bow out as well.
Okay. Are we then range to? I don't know why the antenna's up, but are we range to? Or is Hrosk in range of the telepathy now, or no?
I think now you would be after that 1 round movement.
All right, so he will just not knowing anything about the situation, then just sort of send Cyir a thought, shows a skeleton falling off the tall stairs and smashing to pieces on the floor. Just as a kind of a, if it comes to it, just push him off the edge kind of thing.
Yeah. Although at this point, it's the skeleton is Cyir and Cyir onward's back are going to be towards the fall.
Right. Oh, actually, yeah.
But yes, yeah. It's a good player skill. So let's roll initiative again for this round. And did we do? I think we did group initiative last time, but I think it's a little. It might be a little more, but we kind of broke you guys down into your group, and then we had like the other NPC. I forget what we did with the NPCs. I don't know.
I think they attacked like group.
We did group.
I think we did group for them. Yeah.
Oh, it says each combatant. I think. Oh yeah, it gives you the option of avoiding complexity to do group initiative. Let's do individual initiatives for now, just for fun. It's not as super complicated as that last battle with like 10 people. Okay.
Right. Yeah, there were 3. Technically, there were 3 sides in the last battle.
Yeah, a little closer. Okay.
I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, and okay, so the skeleton is going to press its attack again on Cyir. Sorry, Cyir. But he misses. Or I guess he hits, but he hits the armor, kind of, or he maybe gets his hand tangled up in in your cloak. I think that's what it is. Like he swings and kind of, Cyir can kind of jump back and he gets his like hand a bit tangled up in the cloak. Hrosk, it's your initiative, although next, there's still, I think, not much you can do. That zombie's still out of range. You're able to kind of, from what you can see, you still don't have a good shot at the skeleton. The nature of the situation is a little bit, a little bit watching and waiting for Hrosk right now. Cyir onward then gets his opportunity to. He's got his big sword out and is going to take a swing at the skeleton. And I think that roll that I just did suggests that he kind of misses outright, like, kind of takes like this big, kind of like, huge overhead slash, but the skeleton is, wilier than that. And there's some type of survival instincts there, kind of moves out of the way. Cyir's turn.
All right. So my first roll is a 7. My second roll is an 18. So the second one hits. Okay. And that one, I rolled a 5 plus 1 is a 6.
Nice. Okay. So you connect pretty nicely with it, but it's that lack of satisfaction of kind of cutting through flesh. But he's starting to take kind of maybe move with a little less fluidity. Like it's starting to show in his movements that the pieces aren't all as solidly connected together as they had been. It's kind of, yeah, I think that's kind of what it starts to look like. So Yurik is now, I think, with this amount of time, Yurik is now able to use this opportunity to kind of maneuver so that he's kind of flanking the skeleton as well, so he'll be able to get in a lick next time. Avi is next to Hrosk, watching and waiting, but Avi can see farther than Hrosk, but it's dark in here, so no, he can't. In kind of the the lantern light, he can't see farther than Hrosk, so he's still watching and waiting as a zombie shuffles up. So next round, roll initiative.
I rolled 2.
I rolled 4 again.
Okay. Okay, so Yurik had kind of stepped into place and takes a stab at the skeleton. I think this is an example of his short sword kind of is kind of a worse outcome than Cyir's been having. His short sword kind of is a perfectly aimed blow that happens to just slip through the kind of rib cage completely without kind of end up touching really anything of damage. The skeleton is going to take another swing. And now that he's been attacked on 3 sides, he kind of is going to take advantage of Sir Onward kind of being off balance from that giant swing and to go after Sir Onward. And that's... Okay. Oh, and he does connect with Sir Onward. And so he... Oh, whoops. Yeah, he... his kind of... you hear, I think, like a kind of... I think the skeleton kind of flails out. So Sir Onward kind of had gone over like that, and the skeleton like flails out at Sir Onward's like head and neck area, and you hear like a crunch, and Sir Onward starts to reel backwards towards the ledge, kind of in a daze, barely kind of keeping his sword in his grip. And he's trying to recover from that. Hrosk, your initiative comes up, and let me double check. This is now like the 3rd round. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I forgot. I should have been a little bit more careful about that. So I'm kind of imagining that you're like you've kind of gone up like one stairwell maybe, So you're sort
Yeah.
of at the corner landing. I should have nailed this down before this, but at this point you can now see the zombie who has made its way to that landing where the doorway you came out of, and so you do have a shot at the zombie at this point.
Okay. I am AV0 with the bow.
Okay, so yes, yeah.
For another 70 shots anyway.
So yeah, you've got a 13 to hit.
I rolled a 19.
Nice.
And there's no damage bonus for dexterity or anything like that, right? No, never mind. My dex is not high enough anyway.
I don't think so. Okay. And you have 2 shots too, by the way.
Oh, okay.
With a short bow. And one die 3 each.
Okay, so the second shot is a 10, and that misses. Okay. So 3.
Okay, cool. So that's good. So that's Hrosk. So Sir Onward then is he's been hit. He's kind of reeling. He's going to try to pull it together and go after this skeleton that has been holding its own against you guys. But he can barely kind of lift up his sword. He's still too hurt. He kind of gestures ineffectually at the skeleton without doing anything. Cyir, you're up.
I keep rolling. My first one is always a 7. I rolled a 7 again for my first one. Oh, and my second one is a 3. So neither one of those is
So I think that, I don't know. I mean, I think this is more maybe more of a case he's missing because now the melee is getting a little more complicated, and kind of Sir Onward is like staggering there, and you're kind of off, puts you off speed because you don't want to accidentally hit him. And now the zombie or the skeleton's kind of getting a little bit too close to Sir Onward for you to really. You have to be a little bit more cautious with your blows, and so whether these are misses or kind of again these glancing blows off some of his bones, but it's more a function, I think, of this the kind of complications of what's happening here with the 3 of you trying to surround him, but the skeleton still moving more quickly and more more defensively than you'd expect. So then Avi is going to take his shots at the zombie that Hrosk has hit. Oh, and he fires twice, and both hit. But the zombies now have 3 arrows kind of nicely sticking out of him, and doesn't seem to have slowed him down too much. I mean, he's already going very slowly, but he's kind of continues to come at you at the same pace. And he will be in it's one more round of missile before he.
Am I back?
I'm in suspense.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry
All
about
right.
that.
So no problem. You're keeping me in suspense. I'm like, did you get an initiative? I missed it.
Rolling initiative again. I rolled a 5.
Oh, nice. So that's really good. I don't mean to do this. I just keep rolling better than you as the skeleton for the skeleton's initiative. So the skeleton is going to try to finish up Sir Onward. Oh wow! So the skeleton then tries to tee off on Sir Onward. Sir Onward's kind of staggering there, but I think Sir Onward kind of pulls it together at the last minute, sidesteps, and has now sort of switched positions with the skeleton. So I think the skeleton is now at the towards in between you guys and the barrier and then the fall, and Sir Onward is kind of directly looking at him, and Cyir, you're now on Sir Onward's left, and Urik's on Sir Onward's right as you can now flank the skeleton, and it is your turn, Cyir.
All right. So I have a 15 and a 12. I think you said I needed a 14.
Yeah, your attack value is one.
No, my is 4 with the scimitar.
Your attack value is 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are both hits. Those are both hits.
And let's see, for my damage, one of them I rolled a 2 plus 1, so one of them is a 3, and the other one is a 6, so that's a 7. So a 3 and a 7.
3 and 3 and a 7. Okay, so you kind of so like the first one kind of knocks him sort of knocks the skeletons kind of off balance, and I think that second one is aimed perfectly to like take off its head. If you finally get that good angle on him, and his head falls off, and the rest of the kind of body collapses beneath him. But you don't have you will be able to what do you want to say? You will be able to kind of bask in the glory of that in a moment, because Hrosk and Urik are still trying to fend off this zombie. So this will be your last chance to use missile combat on this zombie, guys. And it is Hrosk gets to go first.
Okay. An 18 and a 17.
Both are hits.
So 3 and 3.
3 and 3. Okay, nice. So you we can say the first arrow kind of hits into the zombie's thigh. It slows it down, and the second one goes right through its head, and it topples backwards down the stairs. So pretty good. Good job, guys. At the moment, you have defeated these two undeads. Sir Onward is still certainly looks like he's in rough shape, although the rest of you are pretty much okay. Although Cyir did take a little bit of damage. Let's. I do have to wrap up, but let's just kind of figure out what you guys are going to do in the kind of exact next steps after the aftermath of this combat. Now, the yeah. So So what do you guys want to do? Where do you want to go?
I would like to bind Sir Onward and Cyir. So maybe we can move into that room with the
pit room.
Pit room.
Yeah. So I think that makes sense. You guys can definitely kind of move up, relocate into the pit room. You can take that time to bind, and I think binding's automatic. Is it, Sean? Yeah.
I think so. I think you said last time it takes a minute each time.
Yeah, and it's automatic, and then you can roll to get the points back. Yeah. Oh, automatically gets 3. You don't have to roll. There's no roll at all. It's kind of cool. Okay, so that's pretty useful. I was like, well, at least I'll be able to kill Sir Onward next time, but maybe not.
Yeah, and I can't remember, like, the field repair, like, is there a time element that's involved with a field? Oh, every two minutes.
Yeah.
1 point of damage for every. So I think I'll repair. I had like four damage sustained on that. I could spend a few minutes to repair that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So you can do that, and then and then you also get to roll to see if your move silently increases.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So.
Oh, we should, and we got a bunch of and then you got a bunch of weapon hits too. So you got to roll for your weapons increasing and two-handed weapons.
Yeah, I think
I got a bunch of weapon.
Yeah, I counted it. I think I was trying to keep track of that. I think I have 5 hits with the scimitar that I got. Okay, and so the move silently, I'm trying to roll over.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to roll. Okay, so let's see. Oh, it's going to be close. 20. I rolled 20, so I did not make it over with that one. And then with the scimitar,
Beautiful.
I'm trying to roll over for that as well. The scimitar hits.
No, I think the scimitar is going to be
under
rolling under. Yes.
Okay. And you get 1 for each hit, or?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, so the rules as written are you get 1 for each. It goes up 1 for each. Yes.
If you make the roll.
Yes. So for these skills, you want to roll under, and then once you get to 100, your level goes up.
Right. Right, so it's hit 3 times.
Yeah. And that's the same with your short bow, Hrosk.
Yeah. These dice are definitely not RuneQuest dice. These are Rollmaster dice. They roll high percentiles, putting in the Rollmaster pile, nice. or the Marvel Superheroes pile.
Here, I'll do the notes for this.
And you said it goes up one each time you get a success with that?
It goes up 1 percentage point, yes.
Yeah. All right, so I had some success. I did not get my silent ability, but I did get some success with my scimitar. So I think I got 4 out of the 5 times I rolled. So that takes it to 53 on the scimitar.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool. And so those will start to kind of, and so the leveled skills start to climb faster to the next level as you use them more. I mean, it sort of ramps up. So it's kind of interesting, although by going up only 1 at a time, it still is the pacing is still more for like we've decided to play this game for the next 5 years, but
Yes.
but that's okay. It's good to see it in action. I mean, I agree. I kind of am glad we're doing it this way. It's just to kind of get a sense of what it would be like. And
Well, and I've noticed that some these fantasy heartbreakers, some of them really do have this sense that you're going to play this game for a really long period of time.
no, I've been looking through Neverworld as well. I think you said you were looking at that, Robbie, and
Yeah.
I really, I mean, and I don't mean this in any way to demean the game or like kind of be like make fun of it anyway, because I think it's a lot of stuff that's really just interesting and kind of really ambitious, and I think it's a really ambitious kind of beautiful game in some ways. I really like it a lot, but it is that kind. It is genuinely heartbreaking to read some of the stuff that they're writing about. Like, this is gonna. People are gonna play this all over the world, and like,
Yep.
There's gonna be whole kind of groups, and it's just like, oh man, I wish. I mean, I wish that was the case, but
Yeah.
it's genuinely heartbreaking, because it's such a great, so many things I really love about it. You read in your wish. It's like, oh, I wish they had somehow kept this without baking into it the assumption that like that was going to happen, so that people would just be playing this one thing for the rest of their lives once they discovered it. But well, I'm glad we're playing these things. It's fun.